Rachel was a beautiful woman from a wealthy, influential family, but happiness eluded her. Her marriage had grown cold and lifeless, and though she had 3 children, a boy named Martin and 2 girls, she felt no real love for them. She pretended to care, but deep inside she knew the truth. Her husband commuted to the city every day for work, but he wasn't successful and earned barely enough to get by. Rachel didn't know how to make money either, yet they both spent far more than they had, sinking deeper into debt with each passing month. They lived in a beautiful house with a lovely garden filled with expensive furniture and countless toys for the children. But despite all these material comforts, something strange haunted that house. The children could hear it constantly, a whisper that seemed to come from the very walls themselves, though no one ever spoke about it aloud. The voice repeated the same urgent message over and over. There must be more money. There must be more money. One day, young Martin asked his mother why they didn't own a car like other families. Rachel's voice turned cold as she explained that they were the poor members of the family because his father had no luck. When Martin asked what luck meant, she told him bitterly that luck brings money, and that being born lucky was better than being born rich because you could lose wealth, but luck would always bring more. Martin thought for a moment, then declared that he was lucky. His mother laughed at his confidence. Martin had a large wooden rocking horse in the nursery. He would ride it wildly, staring into its bright glass eyes and open red mouth, begging it to take him to the place where luck lived. He believed the horse could help him find what his family desperately needed. Sometimes he would hit its neck to make it go faster, riding with increasing intensity, searching desperately for luck. Rachel's brother, Terry Brown, visited one day and found Martin riding furiously. Terry asked the horse's name, and Martin quietly said it had been called Sansovino the week before. Terry was shocked because that was the name of a horse that had just won a major race. He learned that Martin discussed races with Albert, the young gardener who had once been Terry's servant during the war. Terry went to speak with Albert, who admitted that Martin asked many questions about racing, but refused to reveal the boy's secrets. Terry took Martin for a drive and asked if he bet on horses. Martin said he could predict winners and mentioned that Daffodil would win the upcoming Lincoln race. When Terry asked how much he was betting, Martin calmly said £400. Terry was astonished. He asked where Martin got such money, and the boy explained that Albert kept it safe for him. Despite his shock, Terry decided to attend the race with Martin. Daffodil won, and Martin's winnings grew to £1,400. Terry became a partner with Martin and Albert in their betting scheme. When Terry asked how Martin knew which horses would win, the boy looked uncomfortable and simply said he was certain, though he couldn't explain why. Martin revealed that he wanted to earn money for his mother to stop the whispers in the house. Terry was confused until Martin explained that the house constantly whispered about needing more money, and he wanted to make it stop without his mother knowing about his luck. They devised a plan. Martin gave Terry £5,000, which Terry passed to a lawyer. The lawyer would tell Rachel about a fictional relative who had left her money. She would receive £1,000 every year on her birthday for 5 years. When Rachel's birthday arrived in December, Martin watched eagerly as she read the lawyer's letter, but her face remained hard and cold. She wasn't satisfied. Terry later told Martin that Rachel had visited the lawyer demanding all £5,000 at once because she had enormous debts. Martin agreed immediately, confident he could win more money at the Grand National, Lincoln, or Derby. Rachel received the full amount and immediately spent it on new furniture and expensive items for the house. She even enrolled Martin in a costly school for the upcoming summer. But then something terrible happened. The whispers in the house didn't stop. Instead, they grew louder, becoming shouts. "There must be more money. There must be more money." Martin became frightened and spent more time with Albert. The Grand National came, but Martin wasn't sure about the winner and lost money. The same happened at Lincoln. He grew increasingly anxious, and his eyes took on a wild, strange appearance. Even his mother noticed something was wrong and suggested a seaside holiday, but Martin insisted on staying until after the Derby. Rachel was surprised by his attachment to the house, but agreed to let him stay. Martin had a secret reason for remaining. His wooden rocking horse had been moved to his bedroom, and he spent hours riding it frantically, trying to discover the Derby winner. As the race approached, Martin's behavior became more disturbing. He grew thin, his eyes turned wild, and his mother's worry deepened. 2 nights before the Derby, Rachel and her husband attended a party. Suddenly, Rachel felt overwhelming anxiety about Martin. She telephoned home, but the governess assured her everything was fine. When Rachel returned home around 1 in the morning, she stood outside Martin's bedroom door and heard a strange, maddening noise. Her heart pounding, she opened the door. In the dim light, she saw her son in his pajamas, riding the wooden horse with terrifying intensity. But when she turned on the light and cried out, Martin screamed that it was Malabar. Then he collapsed onto the floor. Rachel carried her burning, trembling son to bed. He kept shouting deliriously about Malabar. Terry later explained that Malabar was a horse running in the Derby. Martin fell desperately ill, hovering between sleep and waking, his green eyes staring blankly like stones. On Derby Day, Albert came to visit and whispered to the barely conscious boy that Malabar had won first place. Martin had earned £80,000. Martin's eyes flickered with excitement. He kept repeating that he was lucky, that he knew Malabar would win, asking his mother over if she understood how lucky he was. Rachel sat frozen beside him, her heart heavy as stone. That night, Martin died. Terry looked at his sister and said quietly that she had gained £80,000 but lost her son. "Perhaps it was better this way," he added. Martin was finally at peace and would never have to ride that terrible rocking horse again to find a winner.